Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Derek, this is Foreign Tune, and this is way overdue, and I'm sorry it's taken this long. But without further ado, let's get into it and get things rolling once again.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'll get right to it here momentarily. Quick update on some other things. It's been super busy in the last 6 months. The Jeep that was in here was taking up this whole bay forever. Then my lift broke on the arm, the hydraulics blowing fluid everywhere. Couldn't get the Jeep down for a while. So long story short, that's relatively fixed. The Jeep is gone for now, and I'll give you an update towards the end of this video. But to get back to the Mercedes, finally, it's come a little ways. I gave you a teaser in the last video so many months ago, but it is up and running. It does have a bit of a high idle. I'll address that later on. I want to get some other things sorted out with the floor getting put in today. So once the floor is in, I'll look at the other side, see how bad the floor is on the other side. I don't think it's as bad as the passenger side, but it should still take a significant amount of time. And then we'll get back to addressing the engine. Now, last time I left the last video, I think it was episode 7, it wasn't really running reliably. It was pretty terrible. It was pretty trashy. And I'll tell you, it was a simple fix. And let me show you what it was. So bringing you over here, you see these things. An OEM ignition control module, cheap Chinese garbage, cheaper Chinese garbage. So this was working enough to let the car run, but this is why I wasn't having RPM signals. My resistance was all over the place. It gave me enough to run the car, but not reliably, and I couldn't figure out what in the... So then I bought this one just to see if I could figure out what to do with this one. And when I opened this up to go look at it, the fuse in here was completely detonated. So that was useless. It's just pretty to look at. That's a paperweight. This one, I couldn't even use it because if you look at the circle right here, the outer circle is too thick. The green cable will not slide over this and slide in it, I should say. The inside diameter is the problem on this thing. And I really didn't feel like making that any worse. So I went back to this cable. As you can see, this one is actually a little bit thinner in the outer metal here, or on the outer ledge. This one is just a 1/4 mil too thick, and it just would not work at all. So I couldn't even try this one. And of course, it was a while before I got around to figuring that out, and it's too late to turn it back in, but it was only $18. So moral of the story, spend $100 and whatever to get a used one of these and hope for the best. Don't waste your money on this Chinese garbage. It's going to fail you, I promise you. So that was my biggest problem I had there. Well, I got that one wired in right now. Fired right up. That's a nice sound. It's running a little rich, but I'm happy. Here we go. Even my little off idle. Sorry about the bad angle. She's still ice cold. I just fired her up. But how about that? That's a good news story. Running a little high, but I'll allow it. Nice. This is a feel-good moment, I gotta tell you. You want to see why I'm so happy? Other than this thing running right now, hold on. Not only is she idling, 1050 or so, but those El Cheapo fuel pump relays. I don't need to jump it anymore. My RPM gauge is working. This is just, I'm gonna shut this thing off. Gosh, I wish it was better lighting. Very easy on the pedal. She's right there. Oh, yes. All right, I'm just gonna shut this thing off and call it a day. I'm gonna walk away with this win. That is amazing. So, new module is in, and I got the factory one. I put a little heat sink grease on the back of it. I know the wires and everything else work. Coil's good, everything's straight, as per my last video with a test fit. So, this is always my favorite part. You know, some guys don't put gas in their car until they know it's fixed. Now, this is how confident I am. I'm putting my air cleaner on because I think I'm going to be going for a drive here in a few minutes. So air cleaner is going in. All right, let's button her up. It's confidence right there. All right, is that the face of a running car? Let's find out. Okay, lights are on. I promise you, I haven't tried anything yet. Oh, sookie, sookie. That's a cold start, people. Yes, I know. I have a hole. That's next. Sun visors needs to be tightened just a wee bit. Steering feels nice. Brakes feel like they work. She's sounding nice. RPM gauge is rock solid. I got gas. Blinkers should be working. Rides so smooth. It may look shaky, but I promise it's very, very floaty. But floaty in a good way, not like out of control floaty. Just, I got this. I'll take that bump for you. You just sit there and relax. I don't smile much. I know, it's in the way. There you go. But this makes me happy. Yes. More of this, please. Little cul-de-sac action. I hope I tighten that steering wheel. But temperature gauge. That's coming up. Oil pressure gauge isn't. She wants to roll. I do believe I have oil pressure. I just got to figure out what that's about because that's a new oil pressure switch.
my temperature is more than adequate. All right, add it to the list. She's adding a little high. She wants to go. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, not quite ready for prime time, but we are making big progress. I'm excited. I am. All right, that's enough for right now. I've been waiting to try this for a long time. I can't imagine ever doing this before. Just reaching in. Nice. All right, I'm happy. I'm happy. We're gonna call that a win. It's running a little bit rich. We can fix that. That's an easy fix. But what frustrates me is I think my stupidity flared up because let me show you. Well, that's where it's currently sitting because of my other project that I have in the middle bay right now, but right next door, right? Some of you might remember that car. So let me show you what I'm talking about. She's looking dirty. I gotta fix that. But I could have just tried that one. That's the same system. You know how frustrating that is? It's been sitting here the whole time, and I could have just tried that one. I know it's an older system with the external resistors and all that, but that still works. So that could have told me everything I needed to know 6 months ago. That's what's frustrating. First trip to the gas station in 12 years. Yeah, come on now. We're still getting there. We still got some interior work to do. But all the gauges are working. Everything seems to be happy right now. Still got to do the top. But we're getting there. Pressure's a little high, but she goes pretty straight down the road. Really comfortable. I mean, no clunks, no rattles, no nothing. A little sketchy, but yeah, baby. Welcome back to the highway. I got tired of that bumper stop being broken, so this is the quick way to take off your bumper. All right, 4 bolts for each mount down there and over there. 2 screws on the top for the blinkers, which are easy to get to while the bumper's still on. And so are the 2 screws, the 10 mils for the fog lights. And then a 13 mil on the side, pops off the side bumper mounting points, and then this thing just falls off in your hands. But the reason I'm doing this, I took this bumper stop off this side as well, because just look, all of that is gonna get cleaned.
that cleaned out. Put the new bumper stop in. There's my old one. And call it good. That is the driver's side. See, that's the new one, driver's side. And this one is passenger side. And that is the orientation of these things. Okay, they slide into their groove. And there you go, back together on the inside. Yeah, I think it came out nice. Didn't even lose the little clips off the ends. Perfect. We'll get one more shot, putting it back together. Well, all right. I think we're getting her timed up pretty good. And I think she's idling nice. Right? I'm in gear currently. Oil pressure is working, it's just the gauge isn't showing, which annoys me a little bit. But I'm just tweaking, trying to get a rough estimate of what it feels like, where the what do you call it? Where the throttle response should be. So I got my lean, my lambda, I guess. Early shift point. Really got to kind of wind it out a little bit. Today I got a new toy to play with, and I've been looking forward to this for a long time. And well, without further ado, there it is. I have gas for my welder. I am so excited. I tried it like a day or two ago, and really the setup is pretty simple. I've only done like 2 or 3 spot welds with this thing, and it's a game changer. It's so calm and relaxing. Guys, I'm not a welder, not even a little bit. That's my old one. We've been doing that with that, but with this, I mean, thin sheet metal, easy stuff. And yeah, really, this was about $130, I think it was. This was like 15 or 20, this. And then the tank, I had to buy it locally, and it was $365 to buy it. So that's my bottle now, instead of leasing them for $160 a year or something like that. So overall, the setup works, and I'm gonna try to see what I can get done. I've got to put that floor pan in that Mercedes. So we're gonna go see how this gets on. So far, this setup is freaking awesome. I dig it. I dig it a lot. In here, I'm working on the corner down in here right now, trying to seal up some of the rust holes I'd cut out, and then we'll do a final test fit of my panel, and we'll tack that in place and get that all sorted out. And then this side will be done. Next up will be that side, to peel off that rubber liner and look underneath that to see how bad the floor is over there. So step 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Sorry about the noise. So I think the thing to do is I'm going to put a couple of tack welds, I should say, right there. That's going to be on the main spar running back here, and I'm going to put some panel bond on top of all of that in between all the spot welds. So that should get this floor in there. It's fitting pretty good right now. So we'll get this thing warmed up a little bit because it's like 33 degrees right now, and we'll be getting this thing in. So we got her kind of seam sealed and welded up down in the bottom here. I still got one of my screws. I got to take that out yet, but all the way down, this whole thing was welded nice. All the way back up here, the seam sealer is in, or out of the gray. This whole side beaded all the way down and around, and I think it's good for some sound deadening now after this takes a day or two to dry. So far, so good. And a little bit of in here. Seam sealer in place, new panel welded in. Looks really good, I think. Moving on to the dreaded other side. Man, I'm nervous. Yeah, nervous. Holes and stuff. Well, not looking great. I don't know. I think we'll just time lapse this one. Well, like Walmart says, who knew? Yeah, she's not. That's where a gas pedal's supposed to go. So, looks like maybe Bud's bends and get the driver's side this time. There was a screw there still. One down in there. I don't know what happens there. Not messing with that. I'll trim that back up probably 4 inches. Cut this back probably 2 at least. And we got screws all along here. There. And I think that's coming up from the transmission cowling. So hopefully I can just cut the section out I need. Some of this is still pretty solid. Like there. And that edge seemed pretty solid. And the front looked pretty good, but I don't know how far back this is gonna go. I'll have to peel this thing back up like I did on the other side and look underneath. Oh, crike. Well, let's get to the vacuuming and see how bad some of this is. Maybe. So we're going to do a little exploratory surgery and see where the metal starts getting thick. So I think I'm just going to cut. My fuel line and brake lines are on this side of this main spar. So over on this side, I should be good to cut most of this back, but I don't know. I got to see what that is. Yeah, we'll see. A little bit at a time, I guess. Okay, big sigh. Well, not really. I still got to take off more going up to the front. This cross member is perfect, though. I got no concerns with that. I still have to figure out how to deal with that fuel line. So I can cut this section out. And we still got to come all the way back here Now, this is supposed to have this cut in here, but not all this. I think it stops right about here. So this, I'm gonna have to create a piece for that as well. I'll probably cut this whole top part out at least, maybe over to here, because this feels pretty tight over here. It's thin metal to begin with, this driver's seat bracket. But this is gonna be, but that is gonna be the concern, getting that piece out. Especially up there because it gets really close to the fuel line up there. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Well, we got a little bit more of the floor out. Done screwed up though. I was using a reciprocating saw, and this is the return. No, it's my vapor line going up to the canister, and I damn sure cut that with my reciprocating saw, so that's gonna have to get fixed. But we're getting there. I think I got most of the gross metal taken out. Took out a chunk over here on the box. I'll put a new piece in here and fix that back up. But all in all, she's coming along. Working on cleaning up some of the underside surfaces and get my mold for the new metal. Kind of got it somewhat sorted. Here's where I gotta fix this. This is my vapor line going up to my canister from the fuel tank. Right through here, about a quarter of the way through with a stupid reciprocating saw. But I mean, she is solid as a rock everywhere, so it had to have been the top being down. This is a messy freaking job, I tell you. All that glue, let me tell you, this thing was 1.5 inches of glue all the way out here, just, or whatever this pudding is. But man, does it smell and hurt when it's set on fire. But we're getting there. Rot should be gone. Nice harsh edges. I think there's enough metal left. Corners look good. Soon. Look at that smoke. Ugh. So there's my template sitting on my panel piece. The trick is to figure out where on this I need to base this because of that channel that the handbrake cable lays in. And I'm thinking I'm gonna have to cheat right to maximize the use of this corner in the questionable, possibly weakest area that is still remaining on the car. I don't know how much more I'm gonna be able to cut out. I might just leave it like that and then hammer this flatter to give me 1 inch there, and then I can at least cut most of this off. So I guess draw the line on this where the handbrake cable is, and then set this on here and see where it transcribes to. I'd like to do one of those fancy throw the thing at the car and it magically is in place. I mean, that would be great. Alas, I am not that skilled. But we got, this plate is almost perfectly fit. I'm liking it. It's in really good position, solid all the way around the edges. Get a little back plate. This will sit up in here, like that-ish. So fuel pedal, right? I had no idea that this was, I think, welded originally to the floor. This is a separate piece. The clip is a separate piece, and then the pedal itself is made up of 2 pieces, but it came as one whole unit. So it doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle room to get the pedal right in its location, but
The rod goes down into that, put a little lubrication in there, some grease, and then we'll find a permanent home for this on that new floor once it's in place. And then I think I'm just gonna panel bond this to the floor. And that way I'll have my forever home for this fuel pedal. So that's the idea anyway. We'll see how all this plays out. I think it's gonna look pretty good though. Let's see. Watch, I'm gonna put this up in here and it's gonna clip in and I'm never gonna get it off again. But something like that. Wow, huh, impressive. I mean, I'm gonna have to probably slide it forward another ½ inch or so, just so that way when the pedal hits the floor, it doesn't pop off the end. But look at that, it hasn't had a gas pedal in there and I don't know how long. I gotta say, it looks pretty good though. Well, started off trying to do one thing and I just get so stupid sidetracked, you know? And this stuff, it is ripe with some red even in there. So I'm not sure what they used, but it's got the pretty good stink smell, but it looks like it's not original. So that's good. We'll put some red line in there. I don't know yet, I haven't decided. I've got the Lucas and I've got the red line synthetic. So I don't know which one to use yet. We'll figure it out. So while I'm waiting for parts for that, my panel bond actually, my rear brake, e-brake, I believe, is dragging. It'll move a little bit, and then you really got to put some ass to it to get that thing to rotate. So I'm going to loosen up my e-brake, and I'll show you how to adjust that real quick. Step one, remove the wheel. Nope, it's gonna make me take this off. Not overly concerning. There's just two 19mm bolts, one right here, one right here. Give it a little wiggle to push the pads apart a little bit, or the pistons apart. And then we'll hang it up here or let it hang off of this with a strap. Don't want to put any tension on my rear brake lines. And then we'll be banging and pulling and twisting and banging and getting mad and banging until this actually comes over the lip that's on the inside. So fortunately, these aren't in really bad shape. There's not much of a lip here, which means the inside shouldn't be very bad either. So here we go. That was tight, but it's off. Still in good shape. Inside brake pads, a little grimy. Oh, bitey, I guess is the better word. So we are going to loosen this and get that adjusted right. And I can't remember if up, but it's on this side, right there. I can't remember if up is tight or down is tight. So, I mean, you can use this and go through here now. Now that you can see exactly where it is, you can actually see the groove. And there's 1, 2, two flats. Align the pin. Nope, still too bitey. There's 4 flats. I think I'm going the wrong way. Maybe I'm going the wrong way. I don't know. But it did come off better, so I don't know. Okay, I got her squashed in again. And I already forgot which direction I went. I don't want to lie to you, but you'll figure it out. But she drags just a little bit, but you can turn it nice and easy now. Put my brake caliper back on, tire back on, and now it's easy to move around again. Win. Very slight drag. A little dirt in there. Okay. Bugs get everywhere, I tell you. Look at that. This car is going to roll effortlessly. What do you think? 18 miles to a gallon? I think so. We could probably make that happen. Yeah, I know. This isn't brakes or anything. So, a shiny thing. This spot here was killing me for so long. It's already 100 times better almost. And then there was a spot here and here, and anyway. I wanted to get behind this and check for rust anyway in the car. This is the front, this end, where Phillips, actually, this little guy, gone forever. Ah, look at that. Oh my God, I found it. This little guy, that one, goes in there to the front of the car, and this little 7mm goes to this, which is about 20% gone already, on the rear of the car, here, inside these grooves. And they are adjustable, so they'll slide. And this goes into the wheel well in front of the tire. And then you've got all of these clips, these fancy little fellers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slide them in here from the front because this is the easiest place to do it from. I say easy, there you go, see? They slide all the way down into their respective locations. And then these little fellers go into the car, right? They're pushed into the body panel. And then you take this and you pop them in, hammering it kind of into the car to lock these in place. So, yeah, I wanted to take this off, polish it up, and get rid of some of the most obvious nicks. And I already seem to have gotten some out with the body dolly and some little gentle nudges. Probably polish this up and see what it looks like. But all in all, I'm not going for 100%. I'm looking for a car I'm not afraid to go to town in. So, and I'll show you over here. This is the one that goes below the door. Oh, sorry. Below the door. 2 fender bolts. And you see you still have a bunch of these things still in here, which weren't even being used. All the way down. Little spot of rust here to take care of. But everything else, rock solid. Super happy. I can't believe that little 7mm nut came off. You kidding me? So I'll show you how to do the other side. I'll pop it off. I used this and kind of got in and popped them out very, very gently. All right, Phillips, right here. It already gets loose. Then, other side. Don't even need to take the wheel off, realistically. And I'm going to need a new one, because I think this is just spinning. Yeah, look at all that rust fall down. Okay. Need a new clip. So, put this behind. Got some more rust work to do. Oh, looks like it's broken. There it goes. That popped out nicely. There's another one. Sometimes you can get lucky. Got lucky. And it slides right off the track, which means there's not a lot of, yeah, there was a big ding here though. Okay. So we go through, we look to see what we can save. And it looks like we can save this too. But that's how quick and easy this comes off. Now I can bang out some of the little dents. This one is really bothering me back here. So, and then they pop straight back on. But you got to get these old broken pieces out now. Make sure you find some on eBay or wherever. But simple. I don't know how clear that's going to be, but I think that's rather significant difference before and after. With just about, I don't know, half hour of playing and all that. Yeah, they're still, it's not perfect, but I think we're good. Now I can get also this dent out. There's a before. We'll do an after. Spin it around. Yep. Before and an after. Yeah, that's gonna pop. I think it's worth it. There, that's what it looks like here before. Let's see what she looks like after. Definitely looks better, and they look even. A little bit of a wrinkle down there in the end, but you're not going to notice it, I don't think. Very happy. Well, once again, I got sidetracked. Look at that, come on. A little bit more. This thing was unrecognizable. As you can tell, this was the clean side. This side had probably 1/8 of an inch of crap. This is the heat shield for above the catalytic converter. So, I mean, come on. You got to get that clean, right? Okay, that's seriously enough for the Mercedes right now. Got more coming out a lot sooner than 6 months from now, but I want to get back to the Wrangler just to give a little bit more, not quite closure, but a little more of an update on the Wrangler. We've gotten this far. All right, we're making some pretty good progress. Not the greatest welds, and we still have some things to clean up a little bit. We're going to put a piece in here and gap that so that way we have more of a solid bite there. Same thing here. Inners. We got everything aligned. All the bolt holes are where they need to be. All the distances are to the millimeter, half a millimeter, lined up perfectly to get this rear axle straight again, so you're not dog tracking everywhere. So drive shaft is back in its original position. in coincidence with getting the rear end lined up. And that side is almost done as well. We still have some touch-ups to go do here and there. Moving forward, we're gonna get these on next. And I think we're just going to leave this and this. We've already cut off the body mounts that were on here. And we're gonna shave these down a little bit, make them smaller, just to fit in this area here and fill this in, since the frame is good from here forward. On both sides, actually. That side's better than this one. This is the worst side. So that's a quick little update as to where this is at. And then this can come back down here. And then this can go like this out the door. Well, we're getting there. And it looks better than zip ties. So we've got the wheelbase set. Slight adjusting fore and aft, and works out pretty well, believe it or not. We got some touch-ups to do. We're gonna put a piece in here, we'll put a piece in here, there. All four of the body mounts need a little bit more work. These four back here. But she's coming along. She's feeling super stiff already. So I don't know. Maybe this is gonna work. Man, this is taking longer than I wanted it to, but I'm not working on it. So yeah, it kind of is what it is. But there it is. I think all that's left right now is, this is just another coat of rust preventative put on the frame again. She's pretty beefy now all the way around. And I'm curious to see how it's gonna be in 6 months. I mean, I'm kind of impressed with it. The fit wasn't perfect, but you know, I mean, for those of you that like Jeeps, this is technically saving a Jeep. So we'll see. We're gonna keep our eyes open for any cracks or anything that may pop up on it. I'll be hyper vigilant the first few weeks for sure. But we'll run another line, a return line for the fuel tank, or I should say a vent for the fuel tank. And yeah, it came out pretty good. There's 2 beads of weld down each rail. Everywhere we put a weld anyway, there's 2 beads, an inner and then like a capstone weld. So definitely used a lot of wire. So all in all, we'll see. My bigger problem now is my hydraulic arm over there blows fluid like there's no tomorrow. So it literally can't generate enough pressure. This seal right here, that seal on the other arm, is blowing like a quart every 3 seconds. So I can't even lift the body up in the air right now to get it off the locks. That is my next project, to get this onto that and get this out that. So here we go. This will be, this is gonna be interesting. I don't know how to do this yet. All right, and we're live. One, here we go. All right, this is some sketchy ass shit. So what you're looking at is a 2,000-pound winch hanging from the main support of the yellow strap over the upright, countered, well, we're countering the torque with ratchet straps to the main upright, all held together and balanced perfectly with 5 2x4s, all nailed and screwed together. And we did this not once, but twice. Had to build the whole contraption so that we were evenly lowering this thing. Shit worked, bro. Sketchy as hell.
Hey, guess what?
Don't do this.
Ever. We're not trained professionals. It's down.
Yeah, baby. Now we just got to take that shit down. I can't do that.
All right, we got Precious back where it needs to be. Broken lift still, but this old girl is up on her roller skates and easy to push around. We got the frame painted back black. Excuse the big post.
I'm already staring.
All right, speed.
Oh, your camera.
Rock. Yep. There you go. Right. Going right. Okay, a little help getting up. Okay, slow down. Okay. That's all I would do.
Track runs through Roanoke.
All right,
I've
there it
seen the
is.
train almost every day.
I know, but it's only twice a day.
She's about to say goodbye.
Stupid hour.
All right, hopefully we'll get some videos or at least pictures as he continues to rebuild it back at his place. But this is my goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Felicia. Bye-bye. I crush you. Crush you. Next time I see that thing, I want it driving in here on its own power. Yes, sir.